Hi, this is Michelle Powers with Angel Messages, the only podcast sharing direct messages from angels. And today I am so excited that I get to meet with my sweet friend Michelle, and we have known each other for a little while now. I think it wasn't very long after we met each other that you were like, I really feel like I need to meet with you, I want to meet with you, and I want to just learn. And I would love to hear your background, like why you wanted to come and talk to me, and what your journey's been like. You know, where did this all start for you?
Yeah, I'm so grateful to be here with you. You're just my good friend. A couple years ago, kind of can't even remember what my expectations were all the way, but I know that it was so much more empowering than I was imagining. And at the time, my mom had passed away, and it was an interesting thing. To have a parent pass away is just it's a whole new ball game in your life. And I'm sure, it's, having a child pass away or having a spouse pass away, I'm sure those are their own experiences. But having a parent pass away was just a big deal in my life. And she had been in a home, and that was a hard thing. Everybody kind of felt like that I should just be okay with her passing on, but it didn't feel right to me. It felt, I was still young. I was to be without my mom, and to recognize that life was now going to move in a different direction. And then my dad remarried really fast after she passed away, and that was a whole different issue.
Huge transition.
Yeah, a huge transition. And so coming to you was, I kind of wanted help with that, but I almost didn't want to ask in case that wasn't okay. Back then it was like, we'll just see, but maybe she'll help me, I don't know, And it turned out to be more than I even imagined, as far as putting me on my path of my life, and opening up my gifts and accepting my gifts and connecting, in a different way with my mom, and having a relationship that was so different.
I remember you saying, like, I didn't expect it to be that easy.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of us have a lot of rules that we have in our own head of, like, how do we connect with God, or how do we receive answers, or
like it's a special occasion. Like it would be if I had an experience with God, the creator of the universe, it would like blow my socks off, and it was like, actually it was just a very fatherly experience, very supportive, and it is, now it can happen, I can have that connection when I'm driving in the car. It doesn't need to be something that I have to make an appointment for, and I definitely have times of prayer, but I also have experience with that feeling that it's just indescribable. I think that's probably got to be the hardest thing for you, is to put it into words.
You can't put everything into words. No.
To try and find a vocabulary that's worthy of those experiences, and knowing and getting to know my knowing, and trusting that with my mom's passing, and helping me understand,
what is your connection with your mom like now? How's that changed?
It's completely different. I recognize her and see her as a human being, and that she had a human experience, and that her difficulties were part of her creation.
Yeah, I remember her showing me that she grew up really fast. Like,
oh, really?
Quick. That she didn't have like a childhood. Yeah. She wanted that for her kids.
Yeah, she had one older sister, and then she had a younger brother that was born 11 years after she was. So they were 11 years apart. So she kind of like at 11 became a mom. She kind of and had to take over and had to quit school and high school to raise her little brother for a time, and then go back and finish school. So she had big sacrifices, and the family had to revolve around this health of her mom, and it was hard on her.
It was just so neat to connect with her, because I felt her with you. Every time I was with you, I felt her around you. But then I felt your grandma, like in the appointment, I felt your grandma, and how much she was like interjecting the whole time. Like, I'm in this too, like I'm really involved in her life, and I have some things to say, and it's not like they were fighting over like your attention, but they were both such a part of your life, So how did that shift for you, and where do you feel like they're involved in your life, and also how are you learning to communicate with them more?
Yeah. Well, I definitely feel, and maybe you can support this or not, but I feel like my grandma is, because when she died when I was 5, but I mean, multiple times did I think about her. Did I sometimes be sad and think, even when I was mad at my mom, that I would kind of have a conversation with this grandma. And it's funny because I was only 5 when she died, but I feel like that I kind of I get to be that voice for my grandma, that really she did have that strong voice.
Totally, because when you started speaking up, I felt like it made that shift for her, because for me, I'm shown a lot of things that I don't really understand how it all works or what it all means, but I'll be shown things that the only way I can explain it is like spiritual DNA. Like we have this spiritual DNA, like we don't have our physical body when we pass on, but we have this spiritual DNA that's like this energy or something that exists inside of us that we can change, and we can move forward and progress and change like emotional things that we carry with us. So one thing that your grandmother had was that she wanted to have a voice when she was here, but she didn't really get to speak up because women weren't really heard during her day. So she's really excited to see you stepping into who you are, and that's changing something within her, like the spiritual DNA, which is like a tangible thing for them, and that helps them to heal. Like that is helping her on her healing journey, because they're still healing and progressing on the other side.
I love that. Yeah, I definitely feel that with her. I support my mom and she supports me. I definitely think that's there, but there's a difference with that grandma, that there was that, I think maybe something we talked about before we even came here, like we're on this together. We kind of knew that maybe. Yeah. So. Yeah,
I think so too. And I think that your mom, like, I think I've talked to you about this a little bit, but I felt like she learns a lot from you too. Like she's kind of in some ways she's a huge help to you, but then she's like in this childlike stage too, learning.
Yeah.
So when we met, I mean, we had our appointment together, but then you came to the Angels 101 class, and in that class, one thing that I really, really want to focus on is to help people to learn how to have their own connection and learn how to communicate on their own, because people aren't meant to be coming to me constantly receiving all their answers. I don't have all of your answers, but you do.
That's what I loved about taking that course is I, first of all, again and again, recognizing, what it wasn't was important. It wasn't fear-based. It wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't hesitant, whether I was going to hear it or see it or know it. It was so clearly taught that it's that when I am getting that communication, it's going to be a positive thing and
loving and supportive. Yeah, I think that just keeps coming up over and over because that's so important. And I think that's what I want to leave people with is just making sure that they know that they do have the answers within them. Like those feelings that you get of, I wish that this family member was around. I wish they were here. I wish I knew that they were proud of me, and that, that I'm making a difference in the world. Those are things that we have to just learn how to start trusting what we're feeling.
Just get rid of the maybe. That's what, I picked up on the most was just letting go of that maybe and just allowing it to be.
I'm hoping people can come away from this podcast really connecting with is just knowing that our loved ones are here. They really are with us, even if we're not consciously aware of it, or we're not feeling it, or we're not seeing them. But just believing, like you said, just believing that they're around and that they are helping us, and that they want us to feel loved and supportive, and they want us each to find our own connection with them. And they want us to be empowered about our mission and what we came here to do. And so we don't need to be so focused on them, because their focus is on us. Their focus is on helping us to figure out who we are, what we came here to do, and to connect to our powerful spirit and figure out what our journey is all about here. That's what I hope people can come away with. And I think if you had like one message to leave people with from your experience, what would it be?
Just practice the trust. Practice the trust. It won't steer you wrong. It won't. It's your higher self really will guide and direct you in a good way if you let go of that fear. Let go of that fear. And I'm just so grateful for all that you've taught me and all that you've helped me with. And I know my mom and my grandma thank you too.
I love that. Thank you for joining me on my Angel Messages podcast. Remember, this is the only podcast sharing direct messages from angels.